When I said that I was doing that Mega Man X6 video about the Nightmare Phenomenon's names, I wasn't kidding. Keep in mind, these gimmicks in the stages are not nightmare effects, they're Nightmare Phenomenons, and they do have names according to the wiki, and I will use them. And I don't want you to say, wait, why do you care about these names? Well, they're so annoying. Fireballs, donuts, all that. Yes, but they have names for these things. You can find them on the Mega Man wiki. Search up the Nightmare Phenomenon. Also, Reploid Revo, if you're watching this, please correct me if I got something wrong. I will be as accurate as I can on this one. Establish background information of this gimmick of this horrible game. The Nightmare Phenomenon was created by Gate by analyzing Places Zero's DNA. Found in Eurasia's ruins. You might want to compare the Nightmare Phenomenon to the coronavirus pandemic we're going through. However, unlike COVID-19, the Nightmare Phenomenon is an entity, an artificial one that can take multiple forms. It's also a virus that we'll get to. First up is the Nightmare enemies. First up is the most common one. It's this black thing. This is called the Nightmare virus. I told you I would get back to these drunks, but yeah. The Nightmare virus is the most common enemy in the game because they are literally found everywhere, except for the intro stage, but that doesn't count. Nightmare viruses can shoot in any directions, and their shots can go through tiles. Yours can't. That's fair. While we're still on top of these guys, Nightmare viruses can corrupt Reploids and turn them into Mavericks. Not in the same way as the Maverick virus that causes Reploids to go Maverick. But again, Nightmare viruses can turn Reploids into Mavericks, making them permanently unable to be rescued, making them permanently unrescuable. Shoot! This Reploid was turned into a Maverick. Do you have a part? I don't know. This is how Nightmare viruses cheat you. The Reploids are found in places you can't reach them. And to my knowledge, Reploids that were turned into Mavericks are not the same kind of Mavericks. And I don't think they're Reploids anymore now that they have turned into Mavericks. But again, that's just my opinion. Before we go any further, see this blue ball this Nightmare virus dropped? This is a Nightmare Stone. It uplifts your ring, and you better get it because once it's too late, that Nightmare virus will respawn in, and you can't get it anymore. Also, Nightmare Souls shrink, making themselves worth less. Now for the other Nightmare enemies, the ones who are not known by name. As you know, there are these Mantis enemies. It's called the Nightmare Insect. Nightmare Insects are only found in Commander Yamar's stage, Amazon area. Nightmare Insects throw sharp blades at you and spawn miniature clones of itself. When you destroy them, it's only temporarily. They turn into a hologram and then respawn back. And they respawn indefinitely. You can only destroy them permanently by using Yamar option, meaning you will have to revisit Amazon area. You might say, but why would you do that? Well, 1. To find a Dr. Light capsule. 2. To rescue a Reploid you still have a chance to rescue before it gets turned into a Maverick. A Reploid that you missed. But again, to destroy a Nightmare Insect permanently, use Yamar option. Don't believe me? Have a look! You might be wondering, isn't there another Nightmare enemy that's also bug-based? Oh, trust me, I'll get to that. But right now, let's worry about this blue total pole. This is called a total gate. I know you're gonna comment down and say, dude, Circle Dude, the total gate isn't part of Nightmare. It doesn't even have Nightmare in its name. Okay, sure, it doesn't. But remember, the Nightmare has so concentrated data, its data cannot be analyzed, let alone detected. And if you answer Alien's call, her dialogue indicates that the total gate is the work of the Nightmare. So it counts. When the total gate is blue, you must jump into it. It will then transport you to another area in Central Museum. Oh wait, I almost forgot. The total gate and the total exit, which I'll get to later, are only found in Ground Skirmisher stage, Central Museum. Now that that's out of the way, upon going through that total gate, you have to go through a new room, which will be introduced to these brown rocks, which I'll get to later, Nightmare viruses, and more hostages. If you die, instead of going through the same room again, you have to go through a different one every time you die. Meaning that this stage is just RNG. That's the annoying stage design! Sheesh. But regardless, when you get to the end, you find this thing. This is a toilet exit. You probably know this already, but shoot the toilet exit to progress and get out of that room. But once that's over, the toilet gate becomes solid, now you have to fight it. Once it destroys 2 heads, the middle head comes out to you. Destroy that and destroy the rest. Alright, now that that's out of the way, moving on. Next, this isn't an enemy, but it's not a phenomenon either. It's more of an obstacle. These things are called Nightmare Lasers. Nightmare Lasers are only there for the sole purpose of solving and completing puzzles. Nightmare Lasers are found in Shield Sheldon Stage Laser Institute, but also Gate Stage 1, which is where they do not help. Anyway, when you see Nightmare Laser Institute, use reflective beams in order to progress. And I think you already knew about that. Thankfully, Nightmare Laser's beams doesn't hurt you, only when the beam stops at. That's what hurts you. So there you have it, folks. That's Nightmare enemies. Next up is the Nightmare mini bosses. Right out of the gate, I just want to squash some misconceptions. This is ridiculous. And I'm talking about this red thing. This thing is called a Nightmare Stick. No, I'm not gonna be like everyone else and call this thing a donut. That what I thought is just ridiculous. Well, look at it. It doesn't even look like a donut. How on earth can you guys think this is a donut? I mean, seriously. It looks more mechanical than edible. Look at this Nightmare Stick and look at this donut. They look nothing alike. And look closely at the Nightmare Stick. The head bites the tail. Remember that. Okay, now I got an out of my systems. The Nightmare Sticks are only found in Blaze Heatnix stage Magma area, and they are part of a B-Boss rush. There are 6 Nightmare Sticks, which I'm not going to explain which one does, but all I'm going to say is they shoot green energy spears. Also, I'd like to point out that I can't help but find it incredibly lazy that the spears they shoot out is very similar to the spears the Yamar option shoots out. I know it's not the same sprite, but it's so similar. So why is that even a thing? I just don't understand that. But oh wait, Mega Man X6 has a lot less quality than Mega Man X5. I guess that's why. And X5 is the start of a huge decline in quality already. And thankfully for the sake of my sanity, there's only 2 Nightmare mini bosses, which I'm going to get to the second one. Oh my goodness. Ugh. If you guys thought the Nightmare Stick was ugly before, you hadn't seen nothing yet. This thing is the Nightmare Pressure, only found in Metal Shot Player Stage Recycle Lab, and that thing is just ugly. Ugh. It just looks cheap. It doesn't look like Gabe put time in it at all. Just look at it makes me want to tear its eyes out and shoot its head. It's as if the inanimate trash compactors that are already in Metal Shot Player Stage was bad enough. Oh yeah, and the one in Gate Stage 2, if you choose as 0. But no, we need a trash compactor mini boss inside Recycle Lab. The Nightmare Pressure likes to drop bombs at you, and it also likes to shoot lasers too. Sometimes it's blue laser balls, and sometimes it's pink lasers. The Nightmare Pressure also likes to crush you, watch out for that. Its weak spot has a purple laser guns. I guess you already know that now. Alright, just one more mini boss to go. Since Alien cannot indicate its activation and then applies to the Nightmare, it counts 2. Alright then, here it is. Now then, are you ready? Please, here it is. This is it. Illumina. That's right folks, I'm talking about Illumina. The giant replicant that lives inside Weapon Center, otherwise known as the Machinian Stage. Illumina likes to shoot these beams at you, and you can't fight back. You'll have to make the way to this course and shoot that. Wow, that's fair. But after that, it comes a lot worse with her haircuts out, and then these laser things will come out of nowhere, and then they will shoot you when you're at the point their line. I should note that Illumina's weakness is medium range as X, and is suicide as 0. Yes, I'm going to use the names of Zero's techniques. And before we go any further, I also need to point out that the Nightmare Stick's weakness is the weapon Ray Arrow as X, and the technique Rakuha as 0. Again, use Rakuha as 0. Never fails against Nightmare Sticks. Thankfully, we have 2 more topics left for the Nightmare Phenomenon. Next up is the Nightmare Bosses, and thankfully there's only 2 Nightmare Bosses to talk about. This boss is called the Nightmare Butter, and I hate this stupid boss! It literally makes the Devil class robots like the Yellow Devils of simplicity. Seriously, the Nightmare Butter is just so annoying because it moves in random patterns unlike the Yellow Devil. And the more it takes damage, the faster it goes. Meaning that your reaction time has to be on point, or else you will die over and over and over again. The Nightmare Butter uses fire, fireballs, lightning, and water. Also, the water that uses Kakushin from X5. Nightmare Butter's weakness is Metal Anchor as S and Red Kakushin as 0, aka Falling Steel Blade. But, at least this boss is very easy for things considered. This is Zero Nightmare. No, it's not called Nightmare 0. Even Harmax calls it the Zero Nightmare. X, Alien, even everyone. Not only in Mega Man X6, but...
Zero Nightmare. Psycho Sigma.
See? Even X Challenge addresses its name. But regardless, this is what Nightmare does. Teleports, uses Z-Saber slashes, Z-Buster shots, lots of Z-Buster shots at once, shoot with his as his Giga attack, launches his semi-homie energy wave with Z-Saber called the Harry, and a weaker version of Genbu Zero called Genbu Kai. His weakness uses Z-Saber or Magma Blaze X, or Shorinzen as Zero, also known as Story Flame Mountain. Alright, just one more topic for the Nightmare Phenomenons. I don't think this one's gonna take long. Now then, Gate. Gate uses Nightmare attacks. I will show each of them. Nightmare Beam is when the Gate kills me, but Gate's Nightmare Holes varies. The green Nightmare Holes chase you, the yellow Nightmare Holes shoot at you, the blue Nightmare Holes pull you in, making it hard to clear on the walls. The red Nightmare Holes slows you down as the charge goes 100 from X2, as well as cuts to controls. The purple Nightmare Holes generate those Nightmare viruses. Just to repeat, the green Nightmare Holes will chase you, making it hard to not get hit. The yellow Nightmare Holes will shoot at you so that you can't split them into 6. The blue Nightmare Holes will pull you towards it like a magnet so you can't cling onto walls. Normally, the red Nightmare Holes will slow you down and take you to controls so you can't dodge Gate. Lastly, the purple Nightmare Holes has a chance to generate a few Nightmare viruses, so you attack team with Gate. And that's about it. But Nightmare Strength is what Gate uses to destroy your platform. And last but not least is the Nightmare Phenomenons. Over. This is soon to level change the next 1 and next 3, but now it's time to dive into them. Some Nightmare Phenomenons are minor, so you just do them in time. Other Nightmare Phenomenons are just annoying, while 2 Nightmare Phenomenons are frustrating. And this one right here is the second most frustrating. Right here. This clone right here. This clone and the Nightmare Phenomenon, these both are called Nightmare Mirror. Nightmare Mirror is the phenomenon with solo-weighted copies are coming for you. It's the enemy version of Soul Bite from X4 and Twin Tree from X5. Depending on who you're playing as, if you're X, the Nightmare Mirror is Twin Tree. If you're Zero, the Nightmare Mirror is Soul Body. I said it like that because if you're X, the Nightmare Mirror is pink close to Zero, and if you're Zero, then they're sign close to X. In both forms, Nightmare Mirror behaves similarly to the Zero virus in X5. This Nightmare Phenomenon is only activated after going to Shield Shelter stage Laser Institute, and it affects Blizzard Wolfang stage Norport Error and Lady Turloid stage Unami Temple. You can only destroy the Nightmare Mirror's clones by using Guard Shell as any character. I guess since Laser Institute involves mirror reflections, I can see why Shield Shelter's Nightmare Phenomenon is Nightmare Mirrors with mirror clones. So I guess Nightmare Mirror is related to Laser Institute, a lot more than it is to Shield Sheldon. But in all seriousness, Nightmare Mirror makes Blizzard Wolfang stage a lot more unfair to play. Seriously, the evolutions are bad enough. I briefly mentioned about this with the Nightmare Insects, but let's tie it to them. While Nightmare Insects is just a waste of time, this phenomenon is annoying. The phenomenon in question is Nightmare Bug. If the phenomenon Nightmare Bug is activated, then the enemy swarm of Nightmare Bugs will come up to block your shots. Even though Nightmare Bugs don't shoot at you or sting at you or attack you in any way, they still take touch damage. They're still annoying to block your shots. Seriously, they are really annoying. This phenomenon is activated after going to your Amazon area, which is, of course, Commander Yarmark stage. And the Nightmare Bug phenomenon affects Shield Sheldon stage, Laser Institute, and Blaze Heatnix stage, Magma area, which is really ironic given how bugs can't survive heat. Shooting them will make them go away, but they'll come back. It's only temporarily. To make sure they stay out of your hair, use the Yammer option. It destroys them permanently. Just like with their cousins, the Nightmare Insects. Is it a coincidence? Oh yeah. This next Nightmare Phenomenon, I don't really understand it at all. What I fail to get is Nightmare Random. This phenomenon is exactly as its name implies. Spawns around the square brown rocks in random spots randomly. I don't know about rocks because this phenomenon is inside Ground Scavenger stage, Central Museum, and in the gate stages. One of the reasons why it doesn't make sense in Ground Scavenger stage because Ground Scavenger is a dung beetle. Do rocks get put on display? I don't know. Here's another Nightmare Phenomenon that involves squares. This one's less annoying, but more complicated. It's these things that are called Nightmare Cubes. Nightmare Cubes are generated in your path by the phenomenon Nightmare Cubes. This phenomenon is minor but a time waster. Nightmare Cubes can be red, purple, brown, and black. The phenomenon Nightmare Cubes are activated from Ground Scavenger stage, Central Museum. This phenomenon affects again Shield Sheldon stage, Laser Institute, and Mailshot Player stage, Recycle Lab. Depending on your color, you'll need Ground Dash X or Sensusa Zero, aka Whirling Crash Slash. Here's the biggie. When you use Sensusa Zero or Ground Dash X, red and brown ones can be destroyed, while black and purple ones get pushed. Yes, the purple and the black Nightmare Cubes cannot be destroyed, they can only be pushed. The difference being that the purple Nightmare Cubes slide when they get pushed, while the black Nightmare Cubes only get pushed a little bit. However, while the red and the brown Nightmare Cubes can be destroyed, the red Nightmare Cubes explode, which take critical damage. Watch out for that. I learned that the hard way. Bottom line, red ones explode, brown ones can be destroyed, purple ones slide, and black ones get pushed. Moving on to the next Nightmare Phenomenon. This Nightmare Phenomenon is part of the gimmick, but outside of its stage, it's not so harmless, but I'll get to that part eventually. It's this rain, and it's not normal acid rain. This is Nightmare Rain. In this form, Nightmare Rain is very acidic and drains your health. It's only in this form in Rain Turtle Stage should not be temple. This form of Nightmare Rain is actually generated by a generator, protected by a force field. The force field is generated by cores. To destroy Nightmare Rain in order to progress, destroy the cores, destroy the force field, and then destroy the generator. Destroy the generator and you get rid of Nightmare Rain. Man, these trash corners are frustrating. This one's worse because it has conveyor belts and spikes. What else this one has? Wait, what the heck? Why is there ice in this stage? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is another Nightmare Phenomenon. This ice isn't normal. This is called Nightmare Ice, and so is the phenomenon. Nightmare Ice is a phenomenon that ices the floors in stages. Interestingly, Nightmare Ice only affects Metal Player Stage Recycle Lab in only the 3rd section, and it only affects the trashy floors. Nightmare Ice isn't that bad, in fact it's one of the minor ones, but it doesn't waste time. Although, Nightmare Ice is tricky due to the ice physics. This phenomenon Nightmare Ice comes from this Wolfing Stage North Pole area. To destroy Nightmare Ice, you'll need Ice versus X or Hyroga is 0, aka Ice Wolfing. Fire for some reason doesn't work, so you can forget about using Magma Player's X or sort of flame out to the 0. Shout out to Artificial Solutions. Either way, this Wolfing's Ice Physics doesn't go away in the form of Nightmare Ice, although you'll only meet them in the Recycle Lab. Okay, Central Museum, nothing ordinary here. Rain? But I'm indoors! How could it rain indoors? And it's blowing on me! Well, it's another Nightmare Phenomenon. It's the same Nightmare Phenomenon, Nightmare Rain, in the form of normal rain. When inside Rain Turtle Stage, it was acid rain. In this form, Nightmare Rain has strong wind blowing the player. This form of the phenomenon comes from Rain Turtle Stage Tsunami Temple. Nightmare Rain has normal rain affects Commander Yamar Stage Amazon area and for some reason Ground Scavenger Stage Central Museum. It makes sense in Amazon area, but it makes no sense in Central Museum. Unlike how you can get rid of while it's acidic, you can't get rid of Nightmare Rain while it's normal. You can't destroy it with Meteor Rain as X or in Suicide as 0, aka Circling Water Slash. Sometimes, this phenomenon is annoying, but sometimes it's minor. These blocks of iron. This phenomenon is Nightmare Iron. Nightmare Iron creates these iron blocks in your path right in front of you. Unlike the previous Nightmare Cube, Nightmare Iron grows up and down. This could be annoying if there's a ceiling above you if you're trying to go over or under the block, which will lead to you getting crushed. Thankfully, it's not instant kill, but if there's no ceiling, you can use Nightmare Iron as a platform. But that's noise to expect. Ironic how it comes from Metal Player Stage Recycle Lab. Nightmare Iron affects Blaze Heatnix Stage Magma Area, Ground Scavenger Stage Central Museum, and Infinity Museum Stage Weapon Center. Wow, Metal Player. Literally much? Nightmare Iron can only be destroyed by Metal Chris X or falling steel with a 0. Hey, there has to be some way to clear up the mess this Metal Player made when it activates this Nightmare Phenomenon. At least I found something good about this Nightmare Phenomenon, although it is still an annoyance. I'm sure the stage will be fine with all things considered. Really? Fireballs? In North Pole area? Yes folks, this is a Nightmare Phenomenon too. This one is Nightmare Fire, and it rains down fireballs on your head. Also, the sprites used for Nightmare Fire are the same one the Pteranoid uses in X5 in Bird Directs' stage. Choose where to point that out for a second. Nightmare Fire is, well, you know what? Guess what I'm about to say. Yeah, you're right. It's triggered by Blaze Heatnix Stage Magma Area. Once it's triggered, this phenomenon affects Infinity Material Stage Weapon Center, and for stupid reasons, Blizzard Wolfing Stage North Pole Area. Not only is the former stupid, it's also unfair. It's stupid and unfair that Nightmare Fire is in Blizzard Wolfing Stage. 1. It's stupid because it's in an icy area. 2. It's unfair because Blizzard Wolfing Stage is what you get for Blaze Heatnix. This is a jerk move. Destroying the fireballs requires Magma Player's X or Sword Flame out to the 0. For some reason, water doesn't work, which never makes sense because Meteor Rain goes up while Nightmare Fire goes down. Not even Circling Water Slash can help, yet Nightmare Fire is vertical while Magma Blade is horizontal. Yes, destroying the fireballs is pointless because they still rain down, but I say it's a good thing because you can help pick up some weaponry for these things, even extra lives. In all seriousness, while Blaze Heatnix and Magma Area both relate to Nightmare Fire, why is it that Nightmare Fire doesn't melt the ice in North Pole area? Finally, this one will allow. Believe me when I say, you know. Right, exactly. I saved this one for the last. It goes like this. You go back to Amazon area or in Rain Turtle Stage. Now that I have the Yammer option, I can destroy the Nightmare Insects. Nothing more. What the hell? What What is this? Okay, I'll just take a trip back to Rainy Turtle stage and... What? Oh, for crying out loud! Who approved of this one? I wanna know! Why is this here? It's annoying and unfair! This phenomenon is a frustrating annoyance, an annoying frustration. Nothing more, nothing less. It is never good, never has, never will! Yes, folks, now I'm talking about this Nightmare phenomenon here. This is called Nightmare Dark, and I bet you hate it too. I know I do. So yeah, Nightmare Dark. This does exactly as its name implies. It's called a lights out effect for a reason, which I'm not gonna call it as, I'm just gonna call it by its name. It makes several areas of levels pitch black. It's a portion of the screen. Nightmare Dark is a portion of the screen that makes areas pitch black. Only the center of your visibility. For semi-visibilities go around in a pattern. I hate this one. I hate it so bad. What I can't understand at all is that this Nightmare phenomenon, Nightmare Dark, comes from Infinity Magician stage Weapon Center. How does Infinity Magician living in Weapon Center give off a phenomenon that causes blackness and darkness? This phenomenon kills the stages it's in. That being Commander Yamar stage Amazon area that already has a Marvel camera, and Rainy Turtle stage Unami Temple where you need to explore for cores, but you can't see them! Or the hostages! And you know what the sad part about this? You can't get rid of Nightmare Dark using Radio as X or Rakoa as 0. And the moral of the story? Don't be a lights outer. And don't ever turn on Nightmare Dark! Thank goodness I'm finally done talking about the Nightmare phenomenon. Man, this thing sucks. Let's not waste any more time and wrap this up. At the end of the day, what more can I say? The Nightmare phenomenon is terrible. You thought the Nightmare viruses were bad? Deal with your noise that is Commander Yamar's Nightmare bugs. And if that wasn't bad enough, deal with the red explosives that is Ground Skirmish's Nightmare cubes. Hey, she'll show this Nightmare mirror. It was literally Zero Virus Metric Dream and Soul Body. There was also Ground Skirmish's Nightmare random. Blaze Heatnix's Nightmare Fire? It rains down your head with fireballs. Return Nightmare Ray, it comes in 2 floors. Blaze Wolflake's Nightmare Ice makes the floor very slippery and awkward sections. The one with the conveyor belts, spikes, ice physics, Nightmare viruses, and the kitchen sink. That's the ice physics. That's the Nightmare ice for you. Infinity Magician's Nightmare Darkness lights out effect making things impossible to see. And Bellshot Player's Nightmare Iron can crush you if there's a ceiling. Let the other Nightmare stuff? They need no more discussion. Imagine it. Mega Man X6 is very terrible because of the Nightmare phenomenon. The whole reason I made this video is because of the names of the Nightmare phenomenon that not many YouTubers are pointing out. Like how Zero Nightmare's name is not Nightmare Zero, and how the Nightmare things in Blaze Heatnix stage look nothing like a donut, and how the Nightmare Dark isn't your normal lights out effect, and the Nightmare Fire is a risky far for helping us weapon energy and extra lives. And then there is a way to destroy the Nightmare insects in Commander Yamar stage without them regenerating. And how you figuratively need to fight fire with Nightmare bugs to destroy them permanently. And to literally fight fire with the likes of the Nightmare Fire. The first thing I saw about Mega Man X6 was its weapons, but when I watched Jay's reviews of Mega Man X6, I wasn't really fond of the game. I only played X6 for the footage I need. Other than that, I really didn't enjoy playing Mega Man X6, neither did Jay. Other than the music, the only thing I found enjoyable about Mega Man X6 was the Japanese voice acting. But Circle, it's in the North American version. They should just have no voice acting at all. Come on guys, what's wrong with a little Japanese voice acting in a North American game? In X3, in X4, and X5, there was J-pop in the Japanese version and it cut it out. I don't know why. It would have been great to have J-pop in the North American versions of X3, X4, and X5. We actually do get to hear J-pop in X6. However, I cannot ignore that how Mega Man X5 was intended to be the finale of the Mega Man X series. It was going to split with the good ending leading to the Mega Man Zero series and the bad ending leading to the Mega Man Legends series. The original story for Mega Man Zero was to have the antagonist be the real Mega Man X, and not Copy X. I would have loved to see X turn into a villain and go Maverick given how Zero went Maverick in X5 in the bad ending. But sadly that could not come to be thanks to this garbage that is Mega Man X6. Why couldn't Keiji Inafune just declare Mega Man X6 to be non-canon? He did the same when I went Super Adventure Rockman. He also had to rewrite Mega Man Zero because having X become a villainous Maverick wouldn't sit well. Maybe he thought that, or maybe his team feared that. I'm pretty sure things would go well if things go out as planned. With that big twist Keiji Inafune planned to have with Mega Man X, Capcom would have got a lot of money, but instead, they had to make a quick buck developing Mega Man X6 to fill up Capcom's pockets. I don't know what their budget was after making Mega Man X5, but they should just go with Unifune when making Mega Man Zero after Mega Man X5, and to have the real Mega Man X be the villain. I guess at the time of this video, it's hard to say which is worse, the Nightmare Phonomenon or the coronavirus pandemic. Do you want to be sufficiently sick, or do you want to be confusely frustrated? In all seriousness, folks, we will kill the coronavirus pandemic sometime soon. If you're watching this after things calm down permanently, what I just said just sounded awkward and dated. But still, folks, we are in desperate times, trying to be calm, be safe, and hopefully we'll get through this together. But in all seriousness, folks, that's all I have for this video. That's all I have to say about the Nightmare Phenomenon. Which parts did you hate the most? Nightmare Dark, Nightmare Fire, Nightmare Ice, Nightmare Bug? After this video, I'm going to get back to my Archie Mega Man comics and my 2-object shows. Go check out my Archie Mega Man comics if you're interested, if you continue the Archie Mega Man comics. And until then, take care and stay tuned. This is Circle2236, over and out. Oh yeah, before I close out the video, I just want to say, Infinity Magician's Nightmare darkens the lights out effect, making things impossible to see. I don't really care about that, so I'll just play it in English. Seriously, I can barely tell what I look at that here. Collab. Okay now.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Let's not waste any more time and wrap this up. But you can't see anything!